Boom, so we are live. I am joined today by John, the mastermind behind Reprieve Vision, one of the biggest up-and-coming photographers in our scene right now. He did not pay me to say that. That is just me kissing ass. Thank you for joining me. We're going to play some Rocket League today and show everyone just how terrible we are at this game. But it's not about pro games. It's about having fun. So look like you're having fun.
I'm having a great time.
That's exactly what we have. I did pay him for that. Right, let's just get into the game. Where does your photography journey actually begin? What was like the first part of your photography journey?
So I started it bringing my camera. I was playing with my band Compounds, and we played like a lot of gigs. And I just decided to start bringing like my camera to gigs and stuff. We played one show. We played in Colchester with a band at the time called Collected, now known as Knock for Six. They're still going.
Cool.
And oh fuck off. I took pictures of them, and then the next week Boris Johnson came out and was like, "Right, everyone, you're not allowed to leave the house. You're not allowed."
Oh,
to
COVID. Okay.
So technically, I had like 1 week of my alias Reprieve Vision, and then it all got locked down.
Right.
So I was there it was 2020 basically. I was kind of like, then now what do I do? And in the meantime, I was I thought I was going to go in then. Taking pictures of like horses in fields, street photography, obviously at a 2-meter distance, of course.
Of course, can't be crazy about this.
And yeah, like that sort of thing for ages, just kind of like just practicing really, which just kind of like worked out quite nicely because I was just practicing photography, trying new things and all that. Like eventually, I did oh fuck, that's not good.
Don't worry about the ball. Worry about the questions.
Yeah, during COVID, I was kind of like just trying out new things, and I did these things called Zoom portraits, which people were doing in like Facebook groups, where it's like models that can't do any photography jobs because they're on lockdown. So what I do is I get my camera, I take a picture of my monitor with my camera, and whilst they're on Zoom posing with their high-res phone on a live stream, it's absolutely bonkers, but those
so
days of COVID.
You took a photo of their Zoom chat essentially.
Yeah, there would be a lot of like, I'd line up loads of different chats throughout the day, doing portraits with people in their living room whilst they're on Zoom to me.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
I can show you a couple of pictures afterwards.
By all means.
Great, but
by all means, send them through to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was mainly kind of like practicing my editing skills and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I kind of like did that for a while. Then obviously lockdown came back. Lockdown was lifted, and then I was doing a lot of portrait shoots. I mean, gigs came back a lot later than obviously meeting people in public.
Yeah.
So I was meeting models to do portrait shoots a lot. I did a lot of portrait shoots before I kind of like started doing live gig photography again. And that was kind of like good for me because I was just practicing my editing styles. I got in a few like modeling magazines and stuff like that.
Oh really?
Doing a lot of it was a couple of my mates that I did shoots with. Got in like Italian fashion magazines and stuff like that. It wasn't like any like, you know, it's not like high-end ones like that, but it was like independent kind of.
Even so,
it's quite cool.
So that would have been your first published work then?
Technically, yeah. So it was. I think they're on my website still, like this specific magazines, but it's. I think they were called Penida magazine, and it's like an Italian portrait kind of fashion brand. And yeah, no, it was. Those are kind of like my first publications, and then it kind of like then once gigs came back, it was more kind of like talking about more going into kind of like gig photography.
So was the plan always to do gig photography, but COVID pushed that back?
Yeah, kind of. I always wanted to do really dark, edgy visuals for mainly for bands, because I mean music's my main thing in life. I always loved music, playing drums. Always went to gigs when I was younger, and then I go even more gigs now with what I do with my photos. But yeah, it's always been a passion of mine. So the fact that I could do like pictures for that and do my own artistic flair on bands is kind of like a cool thing for me.
Awesome. Do you ever find any time nowadays to actually go to a gig just to enjoy the gig and enjoy the band, or is being the photographer and trying to get photos for it always the goal for it now?
I mean, it's 100% changed the way I see gigs now after doing so much like gig photography. It's you're always looking at like back of my mind. Even if I go to a gig, I'm like, oh shit, that would make a great photo. I wish I brought my camera with me. But I'm here to enjoy the gig, and I do go to gigs now and again just for fun.
Yeah.
I can't think the last one I went to was just purely for a gig. I think it was Better Lovers in Bournemouth.
Okay.
Got quite drunk there, not gonna lie.
It's a Better Lovers gig.
Yeah, they're fun guys. So I think that was the last one I kind of went to as a kind of like a punter. But yeah, most of the time it's like, if I have that opportunity, I might as well take it while I'm there, kind of thing. Like I get it with my mates. I go there with my mates sometimes to a gig, and the problem is with like taking your camera when you're there with your mates to hang out and have fun. You end up working. You don't see them much, so
Yeah.
you've got to kind of like. I always like to find the balance to. If it's a gig with my mates to have fun and hang out, then I'm going to do that. I'm not going to take my camera, but then sometimes it's just like the opportunity's too big not to take up sometimes, and that.
Yeah. So sometimes you show up to some of these gigs like not even aiming to be a photographer, but because you got it with them, you just happen to do it.
It's kind of like more. So an example of this was me and my mate Pete. We bought tickets to see Counterparts a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Before when it first got announced, then God Complex got announced as support for that, and I ended up working with God Complex for that. So it kind of like transferred into a working gig rather than going there to watch, kind of thing.
I see. And then did you end up taking photos of Counterparts as well?
I did, yeah. I mean, like when you get the photo pass, you do get the 9 times out of 10 you do get the pass to shoot the whole gig. But depending on the venue, I guess.
Never taken photos at a gig. I never actually knew what the logistics around that was. So yeah, that answers that question for me.
Yeah, I mean, like it depends, because some venues are stricter than others. So, for example, the O2 venues, they're quite strict in terms of the way they work in terms of photography, and also it depends as well on the tour manager if they're open for other creatives to get involved and stuff like that. Usually, it's the first 3 songs of the bands you're not working with that you get, and then you've got to leave, kind of thing.
I gotcha. I see.
But if you've got like a pass for, if you're working with a band directly, like it's always good to have, you get a pass for the whole set, kind of thing.
Okay.
Working with a band, if you get like an AAA pass for that set, and you can work, shoot them the whole 30 minutes rather than first 3 songs.
We have Doug. Do we have Doug?
We have Doug. George, want to come up here? Here's my boy.
We have a dog on stream. First dog on stream, I believe.
Everything's bring the camera over here a bit.
And suddenly everything's all right in the world.
He's going to answer a couple of questions. What's your favourite game, Jay?
Me?
Yeah.
My favourite game of all time, Final Fantasy VII. I have lots of different favourite games. The game that's brilliant.
Captain George, we scored.
It was the wrong goal.
Oh, was it? Oh my god!
Wow.
That's
what George does. He's turned you into a traitor.
I got distracted and went the wrong way. See you later. I told you guys I'm rubbish at this game.
I'm no better. So yeah, of all time, my favorite game. Oh, what a goal! Of all time, my favorite game is Final Fantasy VII. The game that sucked me in the most was actually Cyberpunk, because I love the world.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for kind of like really cool looking visual like locations and stuff like that.
Yes.
That's why I love. I mean, I was going to go on to my favorite game, which is Final Fantasy X. Which we
we'll have to agree to.
We'll have to. Subject.
It's a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's no 7 for me.
I've got a tattoo of Final Fantasy X.
The whole. Yeah, I've heard you got the entire front case on your like left buttock, haven't you? Is that what it is?
PS2 and everything.
PS2 graphics.
I've got the PlayStation 2 branding at the top and everything. right in the corner. Is
it PAL? Is that what it is? Is that the game? Like, because it's European, like they got PAL written on it.
I was toying with NTSC, but I did go with PAL in the end.
What is your Final Fantasy X tattoo?
So it's an obscure one. I have it on my. I'm going to point it down so George is in camera because we need to.
Oh God,
Basically, it's a very obscure tattoo, but I wanted like a tattoo that is something that kind of hasn't been done for the game. I got the end musical score that's played at the final end of the game. I've got the name of that.
Wow.
On my outside tricep, which is Suteki Dani, which is in Japan. Japanese means isn't it wonderful?
Amazing.
That's the real nerd shit. That is
the real nerd shit right there. Yeah, like at some point I've got to get a Final Fantasy VII tattoo at some point because that game was like it was the first game that I really played like myself. It wasn't just me sat there watching my dad playing like the old Sega, the old Nintendo Final Fantasies or anything like that. It was the first one I really played for myself. And then, like, spoiler alert if you haven't played it, but obviously the Ares scene was my first experience of loss in a game because one of the main characters actually dies in the game. So, and that was like for so many people of that age who were like between like 5 and 10 years old, you might not have lost like a grandparent or like a friend or anything like that or experienced death. So that was like a really, really big moment for so many people my age. Oh, no way.
It plays with your emotions.
It certainly does. One thing that I always remember about Final Fantasy X is just the intro scene with the Blitzball game with that song Otherworld. Yes. That down out. Wow, ban out.
Everyone thought that was Rammstein for years.
Yeah.
Turns out it wasn't.
It was. It sounded so much like them though, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I mean, everyone was convinced it was, but it's just by like the actual like the score composer called Nobuo Uematsu.
I was saying, was it
Final Fantasy stuff?
Yeah, was it no? I was gonna say, was that Nobuo? Because I know they got like a guest vocalist in for it.
They did. I think it was more like a ghost vocalist. I think for it. But
yeah.
It's on the soundtrack for that, but I think it's. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but I think it was
Nobuo. Yeah. So your style of edit, as far as I'm aware, has always been so unique compared to like a lot of other photographers. What actually inspired this? Because that's also been like the way you've edited the photos since day one.
Like bold colours have always kind of like been a thing. Like I wanted to kind of just do wacky, over the top edits. Like it's kind of like I don't know the best way to describe it, but I've just always been influenced in kind of like doing something obnoxious and kind of like disgusting and dark and all that kind of stuff. Really, like I don't just like want to do a simple photo. Like there are photographers out there that just focus on like sharp, true to form kind of photo, and that's a different style. Like.
Yes.
There's no bad way of doing photography, but it's like each person has kind of like a different thing to bring to the table, and that's what's great about photography. And I like the fact that I can kind of like find a style that is obnoxious, different, and kind of like vibrant in a way. So that's why I kind of do it, because I feel like I've got something slightly different that I can bring to the table.
Yeah, because I can just be scrolling through Instagram and I'm like, oh, there's a John photo. Straight away, I can see it. Yeah, I'm so unique.
That people, I'm really happy. Like, kind of like people think that. Like, whether it's kind of like I've got a specific style that I've kind of curated, and it's kind of like people are like starting to kind of like say, oh, that's a John pick or whatever like that. And it means a lot knowing that like all this hard work. I mean, like a lot of people don't see what I do. Back like behind the scenes kind of thing, as it were. Like I spend so much time trying to get my photos the way I want them to, kind of thing. I've still got a lot to learn in terms of developing and trying new things, but I spend so much time kind of on this, and I've invested so much time into my photos that people don't see that. And
It's definitely paid off.
oh, thank you, mate.
It doesn't seem to matter what you take a photo of, even if it's like what the venue is. If it's like an open air festival, I can still tell it's a you photo by the edit.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice one. Which means, damn, that was the right goal.
that was the right goal. Oh, I'm scared now. I've always have to second guess myself when I've scored or not. But yeah, I mean, like open air festivals, they can be a bit of a challenge sometimes. So like going from kind of like clubs to open air festivals was kind of like a bit of a challenge. First of all, it's fucking daunting going from being like really comfortable, kind of like, you know, shooting all your mates' bands, shooting like local hardcore shows, to then going to like someone will be like, oh, can you come and take pictures of us on the main stage at Download, or can you do main stage Bloodstock? And I'm like, oh, yeah.
This is going to sound like a really stupid question, but does the crowd make you nervous even though you're not performing?
Not so. It's happened over time. Like when I first started doing it, I was nervous as fuck. Like the main thing is, I mean, this can go for everyone in photography. If you're on the stage, don't be the person that's center of attention. I mean, it's kind of like a given, really, because I mean, I've seen photographers out there that do kind of stay on the stage quite longer than they need to, kind of thing.
Okay.
And it can, other bands may see that and be like, oh, he's kind of a bit on the stage too much. So I always say it's kind of like, it's good to kind of like just be socially aware, kind of thing, when you're taking pics on stage. But it is daunting. Going back to your question, sorry, it is daunting that when you're on the stage that big, but you kind of get used to it over time. Like,
okay.
It's like, I kind of get used to it after a while, and you're there, and at the end of the day, you're there to do a job. You're not there to kind of like be the center of attention. So it's a weird one on that.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be the center of attention, but you're more kind of there to do a job. So it's like being a techie almost.
Yeah, I guess. What's been your secret to securing these? Because you've not been in the photography game for that long, but you've already secured open air festivals. You've already worked with some really, really big bands. Like, what's your secret beyond being good?
I mean, it's all about, like, you know, people. Oh, is that going to go in? No. People always say it's about who you know, kind of thing, and some bits is true, but it's networking. So, like, say I could give you an example. I was like shooting a band called Grief Ritual. They asked me to be at a gig once, and then they brought Rachel from Cage Fight,
yes,
and to do guest vocals. I took pictures of her doing guest vocals with Grief Ritual. She got tagged in them, blah blah blah, and then next thing you know, oh, let's work together and let's, you know, we were talking, and let's work together and do Bloodstock main stage.
Fair play. Cool.
So it's kind of like the way it works is kind of like, you know, like people think, oh, they can just go from 0 to 100. You kind of have to network and chat to people, and kind of. That was just an example of that. Same with Power Trip, main stage Download, and I worked with them on a couple of other ones as well. I was working with Grove Street and in Bristol, and they were supporting Power Trip.
I see.
Whilst I was there, I got a couple of pictures of Power Trip. Ended up being one of my favourite sets ever, and they really liked it as well. And then we ended up working together for Download and the Electric Ballroom sideshow they did after that. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like one after the other. If you perform well at one gig, the photos come out great on that one, then it would link you up to the next gig and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Brilliant. So so working with bands who are good and actually getting there with like, you know, bigger bands is what your gateway's been to all these bigger festivals and stuff.
It's stuff like that as well. It's like bands, you could be taking pictures of a smaller band and then you realise the bassist is in a fucking huge band or something, and stuff like that. It links up like that. Like never be afraid to take pictures of the small bands, because the small bands could bring you bigger opportunities and kind of
Yes.
stuff like that.